Britney Spears is in the early stages of recording a new album, album 9. So let's get more into it. It's Vega411. Let's go. Hey, what's up, guys? It's another episode of Vega411. And in this episode, I want to talk about Britney Spears. So last week she was already promoting her new fashion line called the Intimate Britney Spears. She came last week to New York City for a 2-day event promoting at Good Morning America, as well as a couple of other talk show business ventures. I'm talking about her new line called the Britney Spears Intimate. She also talked about that she's single. So as you guys already know, she's been in her Vegas residency that is already up and running for 2 years. And she's single now after she has already talked to many of her fans saying on Twitter, the single life, and also elaborating a little bit more about her being single. But now she has been, as she's been through this single life, she's now going back into talking about it all in the recording studio. So now she's going back into the recording studio, as she posted a picture of her doing a peace sign of her in the early stages of recording. Now, I'm kind of excited about this because I'm a big fan of Britney Spears, and as well as a lot of female pop icons like Christina Aguilera and Jennifer Lopez and a lot of the other veterans in music. I always looked up to Britney Spears. I love Britney Spears when she started in her music career, when she first started in the Mickey Mouse Club and then branched out doing all her albums, and each consecutive album was like #1 and being in the Guinness World Records of selling so many albums as a young artist, creating a statement, being very sexual in all her videos, but as well as opening up about not being afraid of who she was at that time. So, I've always been a fan of Britney Spears. I've always supported her. I mean, she went through a lot of stuff during her early stages in the music, like in the limelight, where she was just always in the paparazzi's eye. They never let her breathe. So she went through a lot, and even though she went through so many things, I always stand by her. I always love her music. Every time she releases a new album or a new song, she always brings it. She always has like this specific sound that when you hear Britney Spears, you automatically know that you can hear it in the club and jam to it, because she has that kind of impact on a lot of people. Especially she's very aware about what's going on in the club scenes and music today in this genre. But now she's recording this new album, and as you guys know, her last effort album, Britney Jean, didn't really do too well. Britney Jean was like one of her lowest album sales of 103,000 copies. But I don't know why that she decided to have so many low sales. I would have thought that everybody would have bought her album, but it looked like it necessarily didn't. So I guess she was already in that stage in her life where she felt like, I'm not going to really promote as much, because like Britney Spears, her name sells itself. She has so many fans. All her loyal fans are always going to buy her albums no matter what. But I guess since she hasn't been out that long, since Femme Fatale, it was already like 2-3 years, I guess she felt like, I'm not going to really promote it like that. I'm just going to make music for the fans. I already proved myself in the music scene that I don't need to make a statement on trying to make myself to be #1 or make myself to be the #1 album. So I guess she felt like, I'm just going to do it for the fans. But it became one of her lowest album sales with only 2 singles that didn't necessarily hit the top 10. And I really enjoy Work Bitch, and I don't understand why didn't that song really become a top 10 hit, because I felt that was one of the most creative, one of the most groundbreaking club anthem songs that I felt like it should have really got the attention that it deserves. So I don't know what's going on, because now she's under RCA Records and they are currently managing her. But I got this source last week from one of my friends. His name is Danny Rodriguez, and he said that now that she's working in the studio and she's working on the album 9, she's basically changing the game all over on how the music scene is working for her, on taking control of music. And it quotes on Danny Rodriguez on his Facebook status. It says, "The pop princess signed a new contract with RCA," because she's not with RCA now. And that contract obligates her to release 4 studio albums for that record label with one condition. She only has the right to make final decision about everything. So Britney will choose by herself the producers that she will work with, and she'll be probably writing herself some of her stuff on albums. So basically, she's under RCA. She's renewed her contract to release 4 new albums, and now she's having more control of her music. But didn't Britney Spears already have control of her music ever since she branched out doing In the Zone? I think In the Zone was one of her most creative albums, one of her most symbolized sexual albums that really, like, she brung it out there. She's branched out from the pop music world and worked on and exploring the Mediterranean types of music and all that types of beats. I think that was one of her most biggest impact albums, one of her most commercial albums, and groundbreaking albums in my opinion. So now I guess, according to what Danny's saying, that now she's having control of her music. But let's call a spade a spade. Britney Spears doesn't really necessarily write all her music. She's always working with so many different producers, so many writers. They give her the types of songs which she might not like on her albums. I, for one, think that In the Zone was one of those albums that she really went hands-on in that album, really wrote music, and Circus a little bit here and there. But if, according to what RCA is saying, that she's really getting her act together and working on some new music and writing things from the heart, then so be it. Because I think we need to have Britney Spears get real on her music. And we already saw that type of club album and club music that she's already worked on. And we already get into that. You know, she can make a hit no matter what. But I feel that she needs to really focus on her fans, focus on what she thinks that it would be great to release, what types of music that would impact audiences today. You know, because music has changed now, as well as her performing skills. She hasn't really necessarily given her all on dancing. She's always giving half-ass moves. She's not really giving it her all. And I feel that Britney Spears needs to really focus and just do more dancing. I'm not saying she has to prove to me that she can dance, but I'm saying that if you're gonna perform, and if you're not gonna sing live, then at least give it your all on performing and dancing. And I know you have it in you. You know you can really bring it to the stage and to the audience of your fans to really give a great show. You know, forget it. You want to lip sync, so what? As long as you can give a great impact show and start dancing. Because I've seen some of the clips on Vegas, and I feel like she has it in her, but I feel like she doesn't want to bring it out there because she feels like I'm a mother and I don't want to give that impression. But it's entertainment, Britney. You signed up for it. So I think you need to really be more comfortable in your skin and just let loose. So what? The press are going to say whatever they want to say. They're going to say whatever nonsense and negative things. At the end of the day, you're making money. You're a pop icon. And life is going to live on. So it doesn't matter. So I'm excited for Britney Spears releasing this new music. There's no release day. There's no single day. Right now it's in the early stages. And if you are excited as I am about Britney Spears releasing new music, leave a comment below, share, like, spread the word. Britney Spears is coming back on 2015. I believe maybe in the fall of 2015 she'll release a new album, because that's what she always does. And give your insight on what you think about Britney Spears and her new album, what kind of direction she's working on. Oh, and I've heard that she's going into the pop rock route. I don't know how that's gonna work out. She had one song called I Love Rock and Roll, but we'll see how that turns out. Well, that's all the time I have for today. This is Vega411. It's What's Going On. Please share, like, and comment. All the link is down below. Vega411. It's What's Going On. I'm your boy Jesse Vega, and I'm excited to be here with you guys. See you next time. Mwah.